Stars of Ghana are set to appoint their seventh coach in 6 years after the GFA decided to fire Chris Sutton yesterday after the team returned to Accra following their dismal performance again at the 2023 Afcon Cup of Nations in Cote d'Ivoire. We said it here that he wasn't going to survive that heat. On that note, we welcome you, our fans across the world, to another yesterday at the Afcon, and of course, previewing matches that will be going down today at the tournament. Kyle Ogundare and James, they are here. Welcome, guys.
Thank you very much, Femi. It's a pleasure to be here again.
Yeah, Femi, happy to be on today's edition. Good morning.
All right, okay. My name remains CYali Dellahi. Let's talk about Equatorial Guinea before we go into yesterday's game. Of course, the government they are raining cash on the players. €1 million bonus have been awarded to the players for their heroic performance at the competition so far. And of course, in the city of North Chad in Mauritania, we saw videos of almost everyone on the street and celebrating. And something really fascinating, I would quickly like to read out to our viewers across the world, and to Kyle and James, while you comment about it, about the intentional development of their football. Okay, let me read. By 2011, they were ranked 207 by FIFA, practically the poorest football country in the world. Then in 2021, their federation voted Ahmed Yahya as FA president. It restructured the league, set up youth team system, got the country's biggest telecom to sponsor the league. Player salaries were fixed, and they used the €10 million FIFA Goal Project fund and renovated their national stadium, built an extra modern headquarters. And when Gianni Infantino visited, he commended them and he said they are one of the fewest African countries who have used that money judiciously. We could see what happened yesterday. They've made it to the knockout phase of Afcon. Kyle, you can see the intentional development of their football, and now we can see the result on the pitch as well.
Femi, I think it is whatever the government and they will do for the team is really, really well deserved. We've seen nobody thought Mauritania will be where they are now, considering the group from which they emerged. Femi, like we had said prior to that game, they were never disgraced in any, even the games they lost. You knew that they gave it all their all. And look at the way they played against Algeria when they needed the result. They went out and they got it. That's something. And when you look at that team, the team didn't just get to where they are today, Femi. It is a product of years of planning, intentional, deliberate planning. Femi, this is a team that has risen through the ranks. A lot of these players have played together at one level or the other. We see there's nothing that beats planning. And then when you see those facilities that they have provided, you ask yourself, why does other FAs, including Ghana, Nigeria, as the address, why do they, where is their own FIFA Goal project money? What they have shown us that they built with that money, do we have value for what they are showing us for that amount of money? So that's why I said, Femi, especially in Nigeria and Ghana, if there's going to be a resuscitation of football and sports generally, some people must be called to account, even if it takes 100 years. As long as they are alive, they must be called to account. Even if they are no more, they are. This may be unorthodox, but their children and their children's children must be called to. It's easy to go to Ivory Coast and go and be showing your teeth like you were the messiah of your country when you were in charge. We all know where you dragged your country's football to. You are the reason why your country is where it is today, Femi. So for me, I think the most important thing is when you plan well, you get the result. It may not come today, but definitely it's going to come one day.
Yeah. Mauritania, a country of 1.5 million, yesterday recorded something that no one ever thought, defeated Algeria 1-0 in that game. And before we go ahead, Riyad Mahrez is expected to announce his international retirement in a few days. That is the report before we came on set. Because he was benched for that game. I'm sure that must have informed this decision is about to make. But just let's talk about Mauritania. No one saw this coming at all. And I was reading this morning that Coach Amer, I've forgotten the other name now, who led Comoros to their first Afcon last year in 2021. Remember, they defeated Ghana. Is the one in charge of Mauritania again. So there is something about the rise of teams and young coaches, who are not in the spotlight. But this morning is just to focus on Mauritania, what they've been able to achieve. It is monumental, James. For the rest of their life, they'll remember this in their football history.
Yes, Femi. Congratulations to them. If you want to be successful in something, you have to be intentional. You have to show that you really want this thing, and that's what they did. That's why I want to say kudos to CAF for expanding this competition. We would never have known that there are teams who can take on the big boys. Sometimes the thing is, most of these teams, we normally hear about them in the preliminary stages when it comes to qualifiers. Because at the end of you know that from the knockout first round, that's when the big boys start coming in. But you never know that these teams are very good. The last time we saw Comoros, now it's in Mauritania. That's why I don't like this idea of these qualifiers where they lump all the big, they make it regional, where the West, Waffle, Zombie, and let everybody play each other. Let the small teams play the big teams. You only get exposed when you play the big teams and you learn from all these things. So we didn't see Comoros this year. We have Mauritania. We have all these small teams that even if they lost, you see the fighting spirit. You know that there's improvement in their football. That's what we want to see. To me, Femi, this is one of the most exciting Afcon I've ever watched. I've been watching Afcon since 1990. This is the most exciting, it's explosive. If you really want to enjoy games in this Afcon, I advise that you watch from the 70th minute. That's when madness starts. That's when action
madness
pack,
in code.
madness in code. That's when it kicks off. It's never a dull moment. Teams go at each other. So the small teams, they don't even show the big teams any respect. If you allow them, they will take you out. So I watched the game yesterday. It was as the Algerians, they did all they could, but Mauritania matched them. Skill for skill, tackle for tackle, everything. So congrats to them, and kudos to the FA for being intentional about their football. They show that despite their size, they can match any team if they put all in their resources. And from what we've seen, a lot of players, hopefully they will get good contracts and will get more exposure so that we'll continue to see things like this.
Okay, well said, James. Before we go to Senegal, Guinea, do you think that benching Riyad Mahrez backfired against Jamel yesterday, who is also currently under fire because he signed a contract extension until 2026 before the Afcon? But now, I'm sure the Algerian FA will have to think twice about that contract. Perhaps this is the second time in a row that Algeria have been knocked out of the group stage. But yesterday, do you think that deciding to bench Riyad Mahrez backfired against Algeria?
I'm not sure it did. Don't forget that take away the reputation. Riyad Mahrez is no longer the player he used to be. The fact that he's in Saudi Arabia now reflected in his game. Even the ones he played before yesterday, we saw what was the product, the end product like. So I'm not sure, and I know the coach benched him for a reason, Femi. Fine, you might have the feeling that they felt, it's Mauritania, and all we needed is a win of any color. Even if they had won 0-0, they would have gone through. Yeah, that could be a factor in the calculation. That's possible. Number one. Number two, it could also be the fact that the coach felt he wasn't going to be at his best. So we need to win this match. Let's get it done. Maybe by then we are 2-3 goals up. We can now bring him in. When he eventually came on, the Riyad Mahrez we knew before could have performed magic. I think I saw him like no more than 3-4 times on the ball. So for me, that shows that it's not about what time he got into the game, but the quantum of his contribution to the team as a whole. So everybody, from Mahrez to the players and the manager, should share part of the blame. Yeah, of course, in cases like this, the manager carries the majority of the blame. But Mahrez himself is no longer the player he used to be.
Okay, of course, I said it yesterday, and I've said it more often than not on this program that the destiny of a lot of coaches will be decided, especially for those big teams after this tournament. Yesterday, we heard that Tom Sekfe, the Gambia coach, he has left his position because they failed to qualify. James, let's talk about Senegal, Guinea. Guinea, they had the simple task of just holding Senegal, though they eventually qualified, lucky, but they had the simple task of just holding Senegal, but they failed and ensured that Senegal, they are the only country who have a 100% record, who will go into the, I think, into the knockout phase with a 100% record in this competition.
Yes, it did come as a surprise to me. They just cemented their status as the best team in the group stage, and we all know why they are the African champions. I think they're proving it to everybody now, and they've been intentional now that they have what it takes to retain the trophy. 3-0 against a good Guinean side. What a performance, and the fact that they had to give some of their players a bit of rest. Though we still had the big boys, but I think there was still a little tweak in their lineup, but they still gave out the same performance. Even the guys that came in, at least they know that at any time they can be called upon, so they have to put in a good performance, and that's what we saw against Guinea. I think for now, I think if you ask me which team is the number one favorite, I will go for the Senegalese, because they're showing everything. They're showing everybody that they're here for business. They have what it takes to retain the trophy. I know that when it comes to the knockout, that's a different ball game. You never can tell what will pop up. But so far, so good with the Senegalese team.
Okay. Cameroon, they were lucky, and I saw a video of Samuel Eto'o coaching from the stands on phone. I don't know who was calling. I'm sure it was Rigobert Song. And after the final whistle, I saw him was emotional, almost crying, and he joined the players and the dressing room. I saw your post on Facebook, and you were saying that whoever thought that Cameroon they will find themselves in this sort of situation in any tournament on the continent. Kyle, let's talk about Cameroon. How they have also fallen from grace, I would say, because even Rigobert Song, he seems to have even resigned to his fate now that perhaps they wouldn't be able to win this competition. I will be sad, because I saw a quote in an interview when he said that the coach that will come after him must be ready to develop Cameroonian football.
Regardless of how this competition pans out for Cameroon, what is sure is that Samuel Eto'o has a decision to make. He has to decide. Yes, he has a decision to make. He has to decide on the fate of his friend Rigobert Song. And I love his loyalty. He has stood by Rigobert Song even when the opposition has been very, very fierce. But from this competition, I've seen that the job of coaching the Indomitable Lions is just beyond Song's pay grade. He has to go. That's a certainty. Eto'o must cut him loose. Eto'o has to cut him loose. And the fact that he's actually talking about anybody coming behind him develop, that's a self-indictment on it. So I don't see him say, I think he's going to join the long list of managers who lose their jobs as a result of this Afcon, which I have tagged Afcon like no other. This Afcon is something else. It's what we have not seen before, Femi. And I am happy. I hope most of these countries could use this Afcon, their performances at this Afcon, as a springboard to go on and develop and become medium and superpowers in African football. But from what we've seen, Femi, there's no country, none that you will not say has impressed you in this competition.
Yeah.
Not one. Especially the so-called smaller countries. All of them are put in a shift, and they have done very, very well.
Okay. All right. I read from a foreign news site who said that Andrew Nana was dropped for his cousin, that is Fabrice Ondoa, yesterday, that game, because of the rift he had with Rigobert Song, that with Samuel Eto'o, I beg your pardon, that the rift has deepened. They said they haven't spoken since the 2022 incident. James, let's talk about Angola, Burkina Faso finally before we go to matches today. 2-0 ended in favor of Angola. Of course, Burkina Faso, they're lucky to also make it through. So we have three countries making it in that group. But we thought it was going to be strength for strength in this game. And yesterday, I think we were predicting a draw even.
Yes, I was even surprised that the Burkinabes lost. In which they almost threw away their qualification tickets because I just like what you said yesterday. We predicted a draw from the game because the two teams look evenly balanced, But I was surprised that Angola still went on to win. So it goes to show the unpredictability of this competition. That if you blink or if you don't tighten up, something might happen to you. So they should count themselves lucky that they were able to pull through. That Algeria also didn't do the needful. So the 4 point they were able to garner kind of helped them to finish second. Well, if not, they will be thinking of the third best placed teams. So a good one for Angola. Let's see what they have up their sleeve because they've been disappointing in past Afcons. The highest they've been to it's the quarterfinals when they hosted in 2010. So they've not really shown how good they are. Despite the fact that they've been coming to the Afcon, we've not really seen anything big from them. So let's see what they have for us in this competition. Since it has been a competition full of surprises, so maybe they're one of the surprise package for us.
Okay, of course, some teams they already know who they'll be meeting in the knockout phase, round of 16. Nigeria, Cameroon, that is certain. Kayode, let's talk about Group E today. South Africa. It's a day with destiny for Ugo Bruce, who, if he doesn't qualify, might also be joining Chris Sutton. He has said that they will be ready for Tunisia. They have 3 points, and possibly a draw in this game will see them through automatically, or even become one of the best 4-place teams. But let's look at it, Kayode. Do you think the Bafana can get something from this group? Because Tunisia, the North Africans, they will come into this game with everything.
You expect South Africa to get a draw and go through, but the way the group is set up, Femi, they could actually come last in that group. Because if they lose to Tunisia goes to 4 points. If Namibia beat Mali, Namibia will also go to 4 points. Even Namibia doesn't have to. They don't have to beat Mali. If they drew with Mali, that means they're also going to go to 4 points. Mali will move to 5 points. That will leave South Africa bottom of the group. So nothing is sorted out yet. That group is way, way wide open for any 3 teams to go through. As it stands now, there could be 3 teams going through from that group. So, and for me, the one that has the most to do, incidentally, are South Africa, who are currently second, because they have not convinced me. Even the wide margin victory over Namibia, I am still not convinced. They have to show it again against Tunisia. Yeah, Tunisia did not do too well in their first 2 games. I saw them against Namibia, and I saw their 100 with Mali. I think I've seen practically every game played at this Afcon so far, Femi, and I think the North Africans have not done too well. The only exception is Morocco, who started brightly in their first game. Then the second game they came unstuck against their Congo too. So some people who judge this to be a function of the weather. I'm not going to dispute that because I know what the weather can be on how the weather can impact on the sports person. So now Tunisia has a what I call the get out of jail card now. They can either use it or go home. There are no 2 ways about it. The least they can get, the least they need to go through is a win.
Yeah.
South Africa, a draw will be okay. Mali, win or lose, they are going to qualify.
Yeah.
Namibia, a draw will see them through. So it is Tunisia that must win. Every other team in that group, a draw will be enough to see them to the next round, except for Tunisia.
Okay, I'm sure the saddest team, the 2023 Afcon right now will be Cote d'Ivoire, because when they see how these teams particularly for the race for the third best place team, for the four third best place teams is spanning out. It is not in their favor at all. Just 3 points as a host, losing 2 games. James, let's talk about Namibia versus Mali. Kyle has rightly put it, it's a very, very tight group. Namibia 3 points, Mali 4 points. And Mali are favorite to go through. Like we said, if they are the only team who is here to taste the defeat in this group, if they draw, that'll be 5 points, good for them. Even if they lose, they could still go through as one of the 4 third best placed teams.
Femi, I think, like I told you some time ago, that as long as it has to do with this Afcon, I've hands off any team prediction because you never can tell what happened. So the teams that we tipped as favorite, they've gone through hell. Look at Cameroon yesterday. This guy, Gambia scored, but they had to chalk it off, which means I didn't mean they didn't disallow that goal. Cameroon would have been out too in a game that you expected them to win. So we also what happened to Algeria against Mauritania. So Femi, this game is going to be a tough one to call. With what I've been saying, I don't think I have that confidence again to come out and boldly stick my neck out because predictions have been thrown out the windows. So for me, it's going to be an open game, and I don't know how Namibia, whether they've been able to overcome the heavy loss to South Africa. It's not as if they didn't play well in that game, but they were not smart. When you keep losing your chances, I mean, you get punished. What really happened to them? It's not as if they were dominated by South Africa, but the Bafana are just smart in taking their chances. So they know what is at stake. At least they have a victory, so at least they have something to hold on to. So just for them to now, try and get over the line. A draw should be enough for them, because the group is still wide open for teams to still nick it. It's not as if one team is clear and home and dry yet. No team is home and dry yet. So they too, they have the chance to. But Mali, you want to give it to Mali, but like I said, Femi, if the Malians should, if they don't take care, I mean, they will be shocked that they will book the next available flights home. But that's what this competition has shown to us, that if you blink, if you don't tighten up, you get the shock of your life. That's what I've been saying. So Femi, for me to come out and say this team is going to win, Femi, I think I'm going to answer my hands off for that for today. so that I'll not say things that at the end of the day I'll now be shocked. So that just
yes, I perfectly understand your position. Kyle, let's talk about Tanzania Congo. DR Congo. Tanzania 1 point, DR Congo 2 points. It's still a very, very open group. Kyle, Tanzania, they lost their first game to Morocco 3-0, then drew the second game against Zambia. This is like a game for anyone who is ready to pick all the 3 points.
I like how this Afcon is panning out. Until the last game, everybody still has a chance of going through.
Yeah.
Even Tanzania could still go through as we speak. All they need to do is win their game. If they win the game, they go through. It's as simple as that. Zambia will also go through. DR Congo could also go through. Everybody can go through because by the nature of the outcomes of their game, they are Morocco 4 points, DR Congo 2 points, Zambia 2 points, Tanzania 1. So they are all within touching distance. The only team that is relatively safe now will be Morocco.
Morocco, yeah.
They have 4 points. They have advanced, so to speak. So it's given what Tanzania did in their game against Zambia, and even the one that they lost to Morocco. Well, I guess they lost that out of naivety. They can still qualify for me. And like James said, I'm going to borrow James's wisdom and refrain from making calls about this. At least until after these group games, then maybe normalcy will be restored. Then we can start predicting who is going to, by what margin, whoever is going to. Because like I was saying, the post on social media that you referenced earlier, I was wondering in what planet Cameroon will need a victory, even if it's 0-0 against Gambia, and they will do what they went through before they were able to win. So that's why I said this is an Afcon like no other. Who would have thought that Algeria will need a 1-0 win against Mauritania, and they will not be able to do it. So that's why I fear for those who would want to quickly rule out Tanzania from qualifying. Think twice. This is an Afcon like no other.
Okay, of course. I remember one of the things CAF President Patrice Motsepe said during the opening ceremony is that this is going to be a different Africa Cup of Nations, and it is exactly playing out so. James, let's talk about the final game of the day, Zambia-Morocco. Sadly for Zambia, they have a very difficult task today. They are playing arguably the strongest team in the group. If it were Tanzania or if it were, of course, DR Congo, we could say, okay, they fancy their chances of getting a win. We are not saying that it will be difficult to get a win for against Morocco, or they won't be able to. It is possible, but it won't be easy for them. They have just 2 points. Morocco, a draw in this game will be enough for Morocco. Why Zambia will need an outright win to stand the chance of, to brighten their chances of qualification. A win at least.
I think even Morocco too. I think they would have been following what has been happening in the competition, and they will come out and give 150%. Because
do you think Algeria has not been following?
Exactly, because it's unfortunate that they fell victim. So everything going into the final game, you are not sure what's going to happen. You just go in and you just get the shock of your life. That's the exciting thing about this Afcon, that you have to wait till the final day before you even be sure that you've qualified. I mean, even teams who have played, who are through with their group games, they still have to wait a bit to see whether they made it or not. That's the thing about this Afcon. So Morocco today know that they have their hands full. They know that they're going to face a team that needs the win. So that's why it's going to be very, very difficult. We know the Zambian team, when it comes to African football, it can be very, very difficult. They can give any team a good run for their money. They are former African champions. They've won just one. Also, the same thing with Morocco, who won it way back in 1976. So the two teams, I think in terms of achievements, they are par. So for me, I'm looking out for a very, very feisty, tough encounter. It's going to be an explosive one, because Zambia, they know that a win or bust for them. The good thing is, by any margin, it's not as if they're looking for a certain number of goals. Morocco just need a draw to see themselves into the next round. So for me, it's going to be very difficult to come out and say this team is going to win. I think they are par in terms of who's going to come out. I'm not going to stick my neck and say because Morocco did so well at the World Cup, or this was going to happen. They've not been that exciting this Afcon. They've just been, taking the game as they're coming. And I think today they will know that the game that they're going to face against the Zambians is going to be a tough one. And if care is not taken, they might find themselves out of the competition.
Okay, of course, Kayode and James, they've suggested that there is absolute chaos on the pitch in this Afcon. Like Kayode said, that when normalcy returns, maybe in the round of 16, can begin to look at how each team will get out of their knockout games. Okay, let's talk about the pairing now. The pairing, we have Equatorial Guinea versus, they'll be taking on Guinea. Then we'll be seeing the Superior Guinea, Cameroon, Nigeria, and Cape Verde versus Mauritania. That is going to be very, very interesting. James, tomorrow I would like you to express your thoughts about officiating in this Afcon, because it's been excellent, something we have not seen in a long while, apart from the excellent results that we've recorded on the pitch. And of course, the knockout phase will be kicking off on Saturday, and Nigeria and Cameroon, they will be in action. That is going to be another one to look forward to. And to Kayode and James, thank you so much for your thoughts today on the show. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Femi. See you.
Yeah, thank you, Femi. See you tomorrow.
All right, okay. Of course, even the crystal ball is not seeing what is going to happen at this Afcon. So our fans across the world, we appreciate you so much for your support, for your time, for your company every time on Sports Africa. We appreciate you. Please don't forget to share our videos. Please don't also forget to click on the notification button so that you get the video as soon as they are dropped. Tomorrow we'll be back with another Yesterday and the Afcon, and we'll begin to look forward to the round of 16. I remain Asha Ololuwafemi. See you. Bye for now.